Since 1997, this has been the home of Lincoln Middle School in Edwardsville. But for the class of 1969 and 72 other classes, it will always be known as Edwardsville High School. As we approach our 40-year reunion, classmate Dennis Svob and I had the opportunity today to take a tour of the old building. Next year, Edwardsville High School will be 100 years old. The school began at the old Columbus School. This building was built in 1925. The gym came 3 years later. The part of the school we knew as the new section will be almost 50 years old soon. You'll recall the Tiger was installed way up here to prevent purple paint jobs from a certain high school in Collinsville. The Tiger's gone, but the brackets that held it are still there. If you were lucky enough to drive to school, you parked out here. That is, if you got here early enough, and if you were late, you'd have to park over there across Highway 157 at the now long gone Idlewood Inn. Current school principal Steve Stewart tells us a little bit about the changes to our school.
The biggest change for this building is it's no longer a high school. It was converted to a middle school when the new high school was opened 14 years ago, and that is the biggest change. We've also changed it since the class of 69 was here, where each classroom has computers, a television monitor, a phone in each classroom. Some of the classes downstairs where the shops were have been changed to computer lab and a art room. Some of the hallways have lost their lockers. Some of them had some added into it. And some of the classrooms from the 69 have either disappeared, have reappeared, and then disappeared again. So this building is always changing as class sizes grow or the needs of the students here change.
Have you been able to get all the graffiti off the walls that the class of 69 put up?
Well, I'm not sure about if it was all class of 69, but there's still some messages left here about some of the administrators who preceded me. And I'm not sure if it was the class of 69 or if it was my class of 85 that put some of that up there. But no, there are still some little things around the building that I'll walk across once in a while and get a chuckle out of.
I rarely came in the front door, but if you did, you'd run right into the office, which has been recently updated. Back then, we didn't have a lot of the administrators they have today. It was just our principal, Joe Luco, assistant principal, Rufo, dean of girls, Elsie Sloan, and Richard Pilney, who was the dean of boys. If you were late, you'd sit out here until you learned your fate and got a pass back to your first class. The school has changed, of course. There are updates, things like computers and digital projectors and security cameras, things we'd never even dreamed of back in 1969. But the basic school remains pretty much the same.
Same linoleum. This has not changed one bit.
There's one room that looks almost exactly as it did in 1969. It's the cafeteria. Take a look at that tile on the wall, the tile on the floor. Yeah, the tables, I'm sure, are new. But this room looks identical, from the stainless steel steam tables in the kitchen to the stage, which is still there in the back, which was used occasionally. But I'm not really sure if the new checkout lady will lend you a quarter like Mrs. Paproth would.
This is the location of KEHS radio that was run by Mike Soper. And he would play music every day.
Right from here, huh?
Right from here at lunchtime.
It's changed a lot.
Some of his records still here.
While there really wasn't a senior elevator or a pool under the gym floor, there was a student smoking lounge, at least unofficially. The library is still here. They call it a media center now. I wonder if they still remember the Dewey Decimal System. If you took a foreign language, you'll remember this hall. We had French, Spanish, Latin, and this was Herr Schonkweiler's room. He taught German here. I took German from him and went to Germany once a few years back. Still remembered how to order a chocolate bar with nuts. The music rooms are still in the same place, but they've been remodeled.
This is Nuge Little's room.
Basically,
It's now a computer.
He was famous because he was.
145 was Mrs. Miller's.
That was your home room?
Was my home room.
Or roll room? What do we
Roll
call it?
room, yeah. Have a TV now. Look at all those computers. We wouldn't have even known what that was.
If you took shop in high school, you might be surprised to learn that the shop room is now an art studio. However, there's still the other room on the right side. It's still here. It's still pretty much the same. This was Mrs. Warmbroad's English room. She was a tough grading English teacher who gave a grade for content and another for grammar. It was tough to get an A in that class.
The rooms numbers are all changed, of course, but this of course is was Miss Diane Williams' class. She had English class in here. I had English class in here.
This is Miss Ruhlman's room. The room has changed. There used to be a little stage right there,
That's right.
and there was a storage closet behind that they used to store the props and things for plays.
Not all parts of the school have aged gracefully, but if one has, it's probably the new gym. This is the lobby to the new gym. It's still here. It's still pretty much the way we left it. The concession stands are boarded up. The tigers still live in the terrazzo floors. This was the new gym, the site of so many Tiger games, big games against Collinsville, a sight of Goosewell driving down the baseline, Schwer dropping 2 from the head of the key, the hustle of Busker, the tenacious defense of Schmitty, the slick passing of Johnny Harris. Upstairs was a track. You know, not many schools back then had an indoor track. I wonder how many millions of miles were run on these boards. Do you remember having to pull yourself up on these peg boards? They're still here. Remember the boys' locker room? Dennis takes us on a tour.
Towels on the shelf, and you come in out of your class, sweating. Pick up your towel. Coach Barton would be here. He'd have all the towels. That you grab a towel, go to your locker, strip down, go take your shower, come back, grab your, dry off, put on your street clothes, and go back to class. So this thing is obsolete. That thing's obsolete. You come in here and comb your hair in front of this mirror, probably the same mirror. Comb your hair because they get out of the shower. You comb it, it's all slicked back, and throw some cologne on. There might be the original here. And then this was the other side, and
This was Melchides' side.
well, whoever, and then the girls were on the other side of the gym, and they had the same setup.
Yeah. Middle girder,
What did he hang?
right where those speakers are, he hung a sign that said, "We want Bruno."
But for us, this was more than a gym. It was where we had our assemblies, our pep rallies, concerts. We graduated right here in this gym on May the 29th, 1969. And on 2 nights a year, we'd suspend belief that it was a gym for the homecoming and the prom. Dennis and I had a great time visiting the old school. If you get a chance, you should do it too. Maybe they'll throw a 100th birthday party next year, and we can all come back again.